Oakland Athletics Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
From August 13th through September 4th, 2002, the Oakland A's were perfect. 20 games, 20 wins. This group came together, making baseball history. Tonight, the Athletics will begin their 10th anniversary celebration of one of the great moments in green and gold history.
And it's a drive to left field deep. Jones going back. Taking off. It's gone. Gone. That one is gone. And it's 20 to justin a victory for the Oakland Athletics.
Now the A's are back at the Coliseum to start a 6-game homestand tonight with the Indians in town. And all weekend long, we're going to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of course, the AL record 20-game win streak. Coco Crisp and the A's trying to get some runs for Tommy Milone, who's going to try to get his first win in his last 4 starts. So it's the A's and the Indians, the first of 3 on a big weekend here at the Coliseum, and you'll see tonight's game right here on Comcast Sportsnet California. Good evening, everybody. You're along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper. So indeed, 10 years ago, middle of August is when it all started, and Ray, it just got crazy, and they just refused to lose, and when it was all said and done, the A's had won 20 consecutive games.
Really hard to believe you could win that many consecutively, but if you look at the A's club, they had great pitching, they had great defense, they came up with timely hitting. Just look at the numbers that they put up during that 20-game streak. When you average 7 runs a game, you're going to win a lot of games. Your batting average is high, hit a lot of home runs. Of course, the pitching was tremendous between the starters and the relievers. Just a fantastic run, and seeing some of those games we talked about, I think 3 of the games were just by 1 run. Otherwise, they just blew teams out, and they felt at all times they could come back and win games, and they did that many times throughout the streak.
So we're going to talk a lot about that the whole weekend. Tonight, Terrence Long is going to come up, and Art Howe is going to join us in the booth. So we'll have fun talking to those 2 gentlemen. Now, tonight's game, Tommy Milone makes his first start since August 5th, Ray. He hasn't won in his last 4 starts, so he had a little time off, and we look for him to be sharp tonight.
Well, I think the biggest question, this time off, about 11 days, is it too much? We'll see tonight if he needed the rest as far as the endurance, but the most important thing, he relies on his changeup, his good off-speed pitches, and sometimes too much time off makes a pitcher too strong. He performs spectacularly here at the Coliseum. We hope that continues tonight, especially with the time off, and plus the fact the A's know they need a good start tonight from Tommy Milone and the rest of the staff, because they are in the middle of a pennant race.
All right, so a series that the A's feel like, well, they should win. The Indians really struggling. They had an 11-game losing streak just a little while ago. So we're just about set for baseball. It's the A's and the Indians, and we're going to talk a lot about the 2002 season all night long.
There's a high drive. It's way back. That one is gone. And it's 20 to justin a victory for the Oakland Athletics.
Sportsnet California is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Toyota. Check out the great deals at your local Toyota dealer today.
Now the A's take the field. Glad to be back home after a 2-4 road trip through Chicago and Kansas City. So they're hoping that the Coliseum will bring them some good luck as they open up a 6-game homestand. 3 against the Indians and then 3 against the Twins. Game time weather for tonight brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. Very nice night. 65 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. So nice weather this time of year all around the Bay Area, middle of August. Let's look at the visiting team's lineup tonight, and that would be the Cleveland Indians. Jason Kipnis, fine young second baseman, will lead it off. As Drupal Cabrera at short, Shin-Soo Choo in right. Carlos Santana is at first base tonight. Michael Brantley having a nice year. Jason Donalds in left. Shelley Duncan, the DH. Brent Lillibridge. And then the catcher, Lou Marson. There's your Indian starting lineup.
Tommy Milone facing the Tribe for the first time. And as we detailed, his last start a long time ago. 5th of this month against the Toronto Blue Jays. So Tommy Milone is making his 23rd start of the season. Still looking for that win number 10. He hopes to get it tonight in the first game of the series.
A's defensively tonight look like this. Cespedes in left, Crisp in center, Moss in right, Donaldson, Pennington, Weeks, and Carter third to first. Norris is the catcher. Josh Reddick not in the lineup tonight. So Jason Kipnis steps in. Coco Crisp gives everybody a nod. Terrence Long is going to enjoy the game. I think those guys are going to have a fun weekend.
First pitch.
And Terrence Long is going to come up and join us tonight, so it'll be fun talking to T. Long, Scott Hatteberg, Thad Bosley. There's a few good stories going on.
Absolutely. That type of season, when you win that many games, can't wait to go to the park, can't wait to find a way to win.
See if you can win 20 in a row. On the ground toward Weeks. He's got it. Kipnis is retired, and we're underway from the Coliseum. Art Howe is going to join us as well tonight up here in the booth. It's great to have Art Howe in town.
Shortstop, number 13, Asdrubal Cabrera.
So here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera, switch hitter. The Indians just lost 2 of 3 in Anaheim, and then they had yesterday off, so they've been in the Bay Area since Wednesday evening.
One of the best trips a team can make, if you're in the Central or the East, make one trip west, go to Anaheim, Oakland, and Seattle, same trip. And that's what the Indians will be doing, and that's the best way from the travel standpoint. Go west, get acclimated to the time change, and enjoying the time on the West Coast.
The Indians 54 and 64 on the year. Playing the youngsters.
Well, also, let's see the record since the All-Star break. You have an 11-game losing streak. That's not fun.
That is not fun, as Cabrera rips one into the left field corner, and Asdrubal Cabrera is going to have a 1-out double.
Cabrera is one of the true stars on this club. Great shortstop. Great defensive shortstop, and as a switch hitter shows, he can handle the fastball that did not get inside. And that's one of the mistakes. Just rolled over a little bit on the top foot, the ball of his foot. And I think one of the things we're seeing is the A's pitchers trying to pitch inside. And if you don't get the pitch all the way in, especially for Tommy Milone, who needs to get the fastball into the right-handers, then utilize the changeup away. The most effective pitch. Got the Exmo there?
Oh, I do. It's brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. We love the Exmo.
That looked like it was an Exmo. That's
so Shin-Soo Choo, an early RBI opportunity.
Leadoff hitter for a while with the Tribe.
And did a good job.
Yeah, great outfielder, and stay healthy. He can put up some numbers.
Carlos Santana waiting in the on-deck circle. foul left side. But we talked about that 11-game losing streak, Ray. It was late July and then into August. And before that, they were right in the race in the Central, but then 11 consecutive losses. And they have fallen out of the race now, 10 games under the 500 mark. They led the division in the middle of May.
One time, and also 3.5 behind the leaders, and then left on the trip and came back about 9 or 10. Yeah. And so tough road for the ball club, still trying to win the last World Championship for the Cleveland Indians, 1948. Great season in '54. Lost 4 straight to the then New York Giants. Beautiful new stadium, still trying to get a championship.
I remember they had Johnny Damon, they had Derek Lowe, they signed some veterans, and both those guys have been let go.
Derek Lowe found a home in the bullpen of the Yankees. His first appearance, 4 shutout innings against the Rangers.
So the Indians are going with some of the youngsters now. 2-2 the count to Chu.
Maniac just said when he first took the job, and he had a lot of injuries, and he said young kids have a chance to show what you can do because of the injured players. And he said it's up to you. You can either perform and get a chance to come back, or if you don't, get somebody else. But I think for young players, and I think every club experiences that you get a chance, especially with injuries. Young players come up, show what they can do, and they can make a name for themselves. Think of Grady Sizemore, Travis Hafner, sure, guys on the disabled list, and you mentioned Lowe and Johnny Damon. Maybe it's all those extra inning games early in the season, right at the beginning, the opener. 16 innings of the opener. Maybe that was the beginning of a tough season for the Tribe.
Breaking ball rolled foul at Grady Sizemore. They were thinking they'd have him back this year, but spring training, back was bothering me, at surgery, and he hasn't played at all. And Hafner, again, bothered by the injury bug. He's on the DL. A few Tribe fans in the house.
Chief Wahoo, still one of the best logos. There it is. The only guy we miss is late Bob Feller. Welcome to the Wigwam.
Welcome to the Wigwam. We'll be at the Wigwam next week. Chu hits one toward left center. Cespedes is under it. Tagging up is Cabrera. He's going to try for third. The throw is just a touch late. So Cabrera taking a little bit of a chance, but he makes it to third now with 2 outs.
Very strong throw by Cespedes. Ball just tailed enough that Donaldson had to go get it. Back on the back foot a little bit. See the ball just start to tail, and Donaldson, a good job, and we have seen him, as was the case against Kansas City earlier in the season. And Cabrera, he might have been out. Yep. Yeah, I think he got his. Oh, here comes Exmo. Check the tag. He's out.
He was out.
But that's very quick. That's an Exmo, and Rob Drake didn't have the luxury. But you have to wonder what Cabrera was doing. Because Cespedes can throw. Everybody knows he can throw, and almost threw him out.
So here's Carlos Santana. Santana hitting in the cleanup spot. 236, 12 homers, 53 runs batted in. Fastball. Foul tip, through, and it got Norris.
Follow through.
Maybe it wasn't the. It may have been the bat.
Yeah. Big swing by Santana, and I think the follow through got him. He is wearing a helmet, which is very smart, but huge swing by Santana, and just kept on going around and right there. And that hurts. Just got him off the side. Again, fortunately, the helmet's there to protect, but listen.
And I would imagine, Ray, as a catcher, you're not expecting to get hit on a swing and miss.
No.
So it looks like Derek is going to be okay.
You know, one of the things we've talked about, how far a catcher is behind home plate and behind the hitter, and every hitter is different where they set up in the batter's box, and as a catcher you have to adjust your setup, and we'll take a look, see where he is there. So he's a little close because the follow through as the hitter Santana went forward a little bit. Some guys, if they kind of recoil with that follow through, and I think might be best suited for Norris to move back just a little bit. You try to get as close as you can to the plate, especially a pitcher with an off-speed pitches. But it is very dangerous. Remember Suzuki with Toronto and Jose Bautista, big follow through, got him in the back of the left hand. This time protected by the mask and the helmet. But we talk about the pitches, and there's the distance between a catcher and home plate. Now see, Santana's in the back of the batter's box, all the way to the back as far as you can. Now Norris can move back as far as he wants to.
But when you look at that, you get a close-up of how far it is. It looks like it may be 3-4 feet.
Exactly. And that's why when a catcher catches the ball and it crosses a plate and he ends up catching it down around the ankles, you think it can't be a strike, but it crosses a plate in the strike zone.
Changeup just a bit low, taken by Santana. So 3-1 the count with Michael Brantley, a left-handed hitter, waiting in the on-deck circle.
A lot of times a hitter will adjust his position in the plate, in the batter's box, on the type of pitcher he's facing. Now Malone's an off-speed pitcher.
On the ground, Pennington stays down, makes the play. Santana's retired, runner stranded. So Malone gets out of it. No score after a half an inning from the Coliseum. Coliseum. Here's the A's lineup for tonight. Starts with Coco Crisp, and then Weeks, Cespedes, Carter, Moss, Gomes, Donaldson, Norris, and Pennington.
And one of the youngsters for the Cleveland Indians. They started with 5. He was the 6th starter, Zach McAllister, and he's a right-hander with a pretty good fastball, low 90s. 2 and 4 same fastball, cutter, curveball, slider, and changeup. Big guy too. He is huge.
First pitch swinging. Coco Crisp grounds to Kipnis, 1 out. A's defense looks like this tonight. Jason Donald is in left field. Michael Brantley in center. Shin-Soo Choo in right. Brent Lillibridge at third. Asdrubal Cabrera at short. Jason Kipnis at second. And Carlos Santana at first, with Lou Marson doing the catching. So 1 out for Jemile Weeks. You're right, McAllister, according to the media guide, 6'6", 240 pounds.
Every bit of it.
Yeah. 24 years old. The Indians got him in a trade with the Yankees back in 2010. And it was one of those trades which you see a lot of near the trade deadline. A veteran position player for a minor league pitcher was Austin Kearns. Yeah. Austin Kearns went from the Indians. Yankees looking for a bench player.
Yeah.
And the Indians said, well, let's see what you got in your minor league system. And they picked Zach McAllister. And he's in the big leagues here in 2012 and doing a pretty good job as Weeks is retired.
And when the season started, one Derek Lowe was in the rotation. Started the season great for the Indians and then tailed off. And so that's, like I mentioned, a young player, young pitcher in this case, McAllister, gets a chance to step in the rotation.
So here's Cespedes hitting in the third spot. Josh Reddick out of the lineup. And Ray, the report that we got was that he had another dental procedure done today. So he's not in there tonight, maybe tomorrow night. So we hope Josh is feeling better and getting through these dental procedures, which he's been dealing with. Well, he's really been dealing with it all year.
Yeah,
with the mouth guard.
Exactly. Well, the guy next to him is Brandon Inge, who is expected to come off the DL when his time comes up, which I think is right as the A's go into Cleveland, play the Tribe after the weekend series in Tampa. That other guy to the left, there's a whole bunch of DL guys around Josh Reddick. A.J. Griffin said he threw today, feels great. Good to see him coming back. He was happy for his good friend Dan Strader to pick up his first major league win last night, as we all were, to end the A's 3-game losing streak. It's not surprising. Griffin and Strader standing together.
3-1 now to Cespedes. 15 home runs, 57 RBIs. Cespedes shoots one into right field for a base hit. So nice job of hitting by Cespedes. Took a fastball the other way. And here's our Ford right choice for tonight. It is indeed Dan Straley getting his first major league win last night in Kansas City. We had a chance to interview him after the game. Very nice young man. 6 1/3 innings. Just 3 hits, a couple of walks. He threw 99 pitches. And the A's picked up their 10th shutout of the year as a staff.
Between the 10 the staff has, the 14 the offense has been shut out. That's a whole bunch of zeros.
Right field where Chu comes in. He's got it. So Carter on 1 pitch is retired. Runner left. We're through 1. No score. A's Indians. And on a weekend when we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the 20-game win streak, Terrence Long joins us. You're the first of many guests we're going to have this weekend. So
Style man. He's T-Long style. You look great.
Thanks, man.
Like you can still play. You got the jersey?
Yeah,
you got it all.
I don't know how much I can play. That's for sure.
So how much fun you having seeing everybody?
Oh, it's fun. First guy I walk up on at the hotel was Jeff Tam.
Yeah.
So you know how my day been for the rest of that.
I was listening on the radio in your interview. Who bought lunch?
You know what? We ended up splitting the tab because I think I took too long on the radio.
I was hoping you'd stick it to him. Make him pay. That's all right. So a good time and 10 years, huh? It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I didn't realize until I got the phone call that it's been that long. But time flies, I guess.
But you've heard about it a lot, talked about it a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now you're now, Kai, this man's almost became the first ever to be involved in a 20-game win streak and a 20-game losing streak. And it happened right here after you Kansas City.
Yes.
You guys beat the A's to avoid losing 20 straight.
Yep.
Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah. And you were almost part of history.
I know it.
Be a part of that. But I'm glad you weren't. You're too good a guy. What was your favorite time about that season, especially the 20 game?
Just, I think just coming out of spring training, where we ended up with the year, and all the doubters coming out of spring because of the guys we lost. I think that was the most special part about that season because nobody thought we were going to be successful with losing the guys that we lost.
Brantley lines one into right field. So Michael Brantley with a leadoff single. Was there a game outside of the Hatterberg home run that won the 20? But earlier in the streak, and we look back at some of the scores, you guys blew out a lot of teams. But was there a game that maybe stands out to you in the comeback game outside of the last three, which were all kind of walk-off wins, that kind of thing?
Well, I think it was, as Foss can help me, 18 and 19 when Tejada hit the home run. That one was because that was one of the closer games we played, and that one stands out. Of course, the Hatterberg home run, but that walk-off that Tejada hit was big. That stands out in my mind.
Well, 18, he had a walk-off against Eddie Guardado, and then against Kansas City, they brought 5 infielders in, hit a base hit up the middle. But the one, to me, that stands out, and the game in Detroit, Comerica Park, down 7-2. I think, I can't remember who was pitching at the time, but I figured it's over because Tigers were playing well. The guys were down 5. And then Chavez gets a 2-run double. John Mabry a 2-run double. You guys won another one. But I mean, that to me was the one, the comeback, and I would have to think, and kind of remembering that year, it's the point that, except for that one game, there wasn't a game that was played. Didn't think you guys were going to win, or not to lose, because it just kept winning.
Oh yeah, when you get on a streak like that, you feel like that you're going to win every game, and I guess that's why we won 20 because we felt that way.
0-1 to Jason Donald, 2 fouls, a straight back. Now, Ray and I talked about that season a couple nights ago, but earlier in the season you guys struggled. How much concern was there earlier in the season when you guys, I think you had a tough month of May where you just couldn't seem to get it going? And I know the movie talked a lot about that, but how much concern was it? Like, hey, do we have this in us to get this thing going? Obviously you did later on in the season.
Well, when you can look on that, you look on the field, you see the type of talent that you got, and also we had a favor too. We had pitching, so when you got pitching, you got a chance. We know that those guys was going to give us a chance to win every time they took the mound. So that made it a lot easier to have those guys on that mound.
Well, I talked about, of course, the big three, Hudson, Mulder, Zito, but looking on the message board, the Corey Lotto Foundation, late Corey Lotto, who was very instrumental during that period of time and pitching well. But, I mean, it was. I mean, pitching when you could send somebody out every day with a chance to win, catching, the whole thing. T-Long, I remember, and you were talking about all the guys that lost in 2001. Cap, we were talking about that, what it would cost the A's in 2001 if all the guys who left as free agents stayed with the club, with what they signed as free agents. Payroll would have been about $150–60 million to retain all those guys because Coach G went to New York and got a boatload of money, and different guys left. But for you guys to do what you did, and remarkably, it just seemed like, again, something Cap and I talked about the second halves of seasons during that period of time. You might struggle at the beginning, but all of a sudden, second half, kick it in gear, start winning, win 100 games, just almost every year. By the way, you won 103 that year. Yeah. But the Angels weren't far behind you either. Exactly. Remember that.
So I looked at the attendance in the 20th win.
Oh, yeah.
55,000.
Right. Mount Davis was open. Oh yeah, everything was open
and full.
That's right. Yeah,
55,000.
And there is Mount Davis as you could sit in center field. Now it's Tartt, because those people could only see from second base forward if they were sitting in Mount Davis. Every time a ball went up in the air, they started screaming, thinking it's a home run as it popped up on the infield. You know, but for them, it looked like it's a home run.
Changeup, swing and a miss by Donald. So let's check out T-Long in action.
That sweet swing put one in the third deck at old Yankee Stadium that year also, right? I remember that one. Great arm, great defense, and I think the guys were talking about today on the interview you were doing on radio about, we showed the great hitting, but great defensive play. How much pride did you take in playing defense with throws like that to be able to nail guys?
Oh, I learned that. That'll have to go back to when I first got drafted. And Rich Miller was my outfield instructor. He really stressed defense to me, moving from first base to the outfield. And since I started playing the outfield, I really worked on my defense, because we all know hitting can be a little tough sometimes.
Well, it's interesting you say that, talking to Jeff Francoeur with Kansas City. He more assists than anybody in baseball in the last 5 or 6 years, and he talked about outfield play, the accuracy of the throws, which you had, strong arm, but very accurate. And from an outfielder, and for something that's not utilized that much anymore, taking infield, taking outfield, for you guys to have the type of arm and the accuracy that you had, that was remarkable.
2-0 to Shelley Duncan. That one bounced toward third. Donaldson has it to second for one. Weeks throw to first, just a bit late. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Duncan. He's aboard with 2 outs.
How much do you follow the game now in general, T?
Well, it's getting about that time where I really bear down. I like this time.
So you're one of those guys. 4 months, forget it. Just the last couple of months, huh? Like the NBA.
Oh yeah, sure. No defense is played to playoff time. So. Yeah, I follow it. Baseball tonight, just catch up on things. But when it gets down to this time, when they start putting the races up on the board every day, that's when I really bear down and watch a lot of it.
How much do you miss playing?
Now, I don't miss it as much, but my first couple of years out, I missed October for sure.
Yeah, that's always tough. And the first time out, missing spring training the first time, that's tough. But I think you're always going to be a highlight for a lot of things.
Chris Carter's under.
I'll leave it at that. Ichiro.
Oh yeah.
Going from first to third, and Ichiro nailed you. That was it.
Yeah, my son, they wear me out about that all the time.
Hey, T-Long, thanks for joining us.
All right,
Have fun tonight. Have
Great
fun all
season,
weekend. All right?
Great season.
Thanks,
Great to see you, man.
All right, man.
That's good.
Brandon Moss to lead it off. A Bernie Kosar Browns jersey in the house. How about that, Ray? Can't get away from football, can you?
Only you would know that that's a Bernie Kosar jersey.
Bernie Kosar, wow. Legendary in Cleveland.
Maybe because the boys do the Bernie here that the Bernie Kosar jersey had
Bernie's in the house. Moss is retired on the ground now, so great visiting with Terrence Long, who was a big part of, well, not just the 20-win streak. He was a good player for the A's for a while.
He was.
And he was right there when the team had the great run of going to the postseason.
Well, you could see the swing that showed with the home run, but I do remember the third deck shot in Yankee Stadium in playoffs, and it was a monster. But just laid back, as you could just tell. He just laid back, and that's kind of the way he played, but very aggressive on the field. And that's what made him so good.
How about the catch in Boston? Oh, that was fun.
That was, well, watching Billy Koch go out and ride him all the way back in from shallow right field.
One out here in the bottom of the second. Johnny Gomes, the hitter. The manager of those great A's teams, Art Howe, is going to join us sometime real soon. So it's great to see Art. Gomes hitting .256 with 14 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Fastball just a touch outside from Zach McAllister.
Johnny Gomes comes back to Northern California and the Petaluma National Little League team back east at Williamsport, Pennsylvania, happily after winning Game 1.
Coming over is Santana, but he's going to watch it head into the season. Sunday, right? They play?
Yeah. Well, Johnny, I'm sure, will be instrumental in having the Little League national team come to the Coliseum once they finish. And they hope champions of the Little League from Williamsport. But I'm sure in the very near future that team will be on the field. And Johnny Gomes will be there.
I think they're going to be in a few stadiums around the Bay Area. Well deserved. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss by Gomes. So that's the first strikeout for Zach McAllister.
Sneaky fastball from the right-hander. As I mentioned, low 90s. That he's got different movement on it, but right over the top and a little sneaky. And when you're big as he is, it can be real sneaky. Look at McAllister and his size and pitches he throws. Fastball, primarily the fastball he likes to throw. The size of Justin Masterson also.
Yep.
Tall, former Red Sox reliever, now with the Indians in the rotation.
And there's a line drive by Donaldson to right field. So Josh Donaldson has a 2-out single. Second hit for the A's. And that'll bring up Norris.
The A's are seeing McAllister for the first time. Both hits coming against fastballs to the right side. Cespedes shooting one to right field, as well as Josh Donaldson, and that could be maybe not picking up the fastball initially from the right-hander, seeing him for the first time. We'll see as they go through the second time. Very similar to the Indians seeing Tommy Malone for the first time. I have a feeling both clubs will be seeing these pitchers quite a bit.
Yep.
They're both good.
That fastball running in. Catches the corner, says Joe West. 200 the average for Norris. 5 home runs, 19 runs batted in. He did not have a hit in that series in Kansas City. 0 for 6.
Well, anytime you're playing in front of a lot of family and friends, in the case of Derek Norris, about over 100 people from Goddard, Kansas, to watch him play a little bit different. Got to step up your game a little bit more to impress them, and usually it works in reverse. But as time goes, when he goes into Kansas City, be old hat for him. Won't even worry about it anymore.
That one drilled to left, down the line, and it's off the top of the wall. Donald fields it cleanly off the wall, and it's a long single. Donaldson has to stop at third. So Norris almost hit it out. That's the good news. The bad news is Donald played it perfectly as it came right back off the wall.
Well, the quickness that Derek Norris talked about in Exmo, great swing at the top hand. He just got too much top spin. And right at the top of the wall, just below the barbecue terrace, you could not have it be any closer to being a home run. And you're right. Donald played it so well that Norris had to stop at first. If he had known the throw was coming into third base, he might have gotten into second.
So 2-out rally for the A's as Pennington steps in.
And Derek Norris very proud of his quickness on fastballs inside, and I think he just showed it.
He's got that short, powerful stroke. Pennington swings and misses at a fastball that was moving away from him. So 0-2, Pennington hitting 197. He was hitless in that series in Kansas City, 0 for 9.
See, the word is out on Derek Norris. Nick Stoneface last night scored the third run for the A's, so that faked the third, looked to first by the big right-hander.
0-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a foul tip. So Pennington strikes out. A's strand a pair, and we're headed to the third. Score. IndyCar racing in Sonoma. The Indy Grand Prix of Sonoma returns August 24th through the 26th. For tickets, call 1-800-870-RACE.
The catcher, number 6, Lou Marson.
Nice night at the Coliseum. We're always glad to get back to the Bay Area weather. No score, top of the third inning. John Duncan, who one of the crew members here, works in behind the scenes for us, enjoying the game tonight. So John says, I'm going to take the night off, watch a ball game.
Busman's holiday.
Not such a bad idea.
You sit and watch, have some of the goodies that you can purchase here to have to eat.
Lou Marson to lead it off, excuse me, right?
Now this young man, they had high hopes, and of course Carlos Santana, who can play first base where he's playing tonight, DH, and Marson, a very good catcher. I'd like to see a little bit more run production. He's always done a good job, though, handling the pitching staff.
0-2 pitch is just a bit inside. So 1-2 to Marson. He'll be followed by Kipnis and then Asdrubal Cabrera. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. So that's the second strikeout.
There's a case a hitter might be thinking changeup, gets a fastball, and a bit tough to figure out whether it's a strike or not. Maybe out of the strike zone, a little bit too high. So every time the Indians come to the Coliseum, they must think it's going to be a special weekend, which it was back in April. Remember the celebration of the 72 World Championship A's, and now the streak weekend as Tribe comes back for their second time. That's the 20th of April and the weekend.
A fun weekend, although the Indians took 2 out of 3. A's won the final game of that series.
I always think it's interesting when a hitter asks, was that a strike? It looked like that's what Kipnis was asking Joe West. He said, of course it was. I called it.
I believe it was.
Not too many people or players are going to argue with Joe West. He calls a strike. Okay, sir.
To right field. Moss went back. Now he comes in. And he's got it. So Kipnis is retired. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Long-time umpire Joe West, and the crew chief is behind home plate.
Asdrubal Cabrera.
Joe usually likes things done his way. Leave it at that. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who doubled. And he singles right up the middle. So Asdrubal Cabrera is 2 for 2. So a 2-out base runner for the Tribe.
Right back up the middle again. Try to go inside with a fastball, and then Tommy Malone just leaving them outside too far. Look where Norris is set up and then reaching back with the ball leaking out over the plate. It's a perfect shot with the Tommy Cam with Norris inside. That ball right down the middle. And the danger part of that is if you try to go inside, you keep making mistakes, they may end up in the seats in left field, especially the right-handers. And Tommy knows that that pitch is very important for him because of the changeup away to the right-handers. So far tonight, he's not getting it in.
Chu fouls it straight back. Chu hit a fly ball to left field in the first. He's got huge splits as far as facing left-handers and facing right-handers. 331 against right-handers, 195 against left-handers as he faces Malone. So that's a drastic split. Although in general, I think in his career, Chu has handled lefties okay. Fouled down the left field line. So 0-2.
Is that a football jersey? 18.
It's Johnny Damon.
Oh, that's that. Wow. You know, I thought it said Damon, but I figured the oh, that's with the A's too. That's I thought that was silver and black.
See, you got football in your mind. You act like you don't, but I think I'm starting to convert you. That lady got hit in the hand. I hope she's okay. He's taking good care of her. I know that.
I saw the back of the jersey with the Johnny Damon, of course, played the A's that season. Or the 01.
Yep. Another close pitch. Couple of very close pitches, and it's a 2-2 count.
Big Joe on the inside right shoulder of the catcher, so that angle to the outside part. See where he sets up, and as we always say, when you have to look at it that way, it makes a big difference.
Chu rolls one just up the first baseline. Kenny Lofton. We're seeing a lot of different jerseys tonight. Kenny Lofton was there when it was the heyday for the Indians in the 90s.
That's when they had their 455 consecutive sellouts.
Swing and a miss. A fastball. Chu missed it. So a couple of strikeouts for Tommy Milone. We're going to the bottom of the third. Crisp is going to lead it off. Single season win streaks in Major League Baseball history. The A's on the list. If you're on that list, it's all good. A's were 20 in a row in 2002, so we think it's important to talk to the man who piloted that ship, the manager, Art Howe. Art, how are you?
Good, Glenn.
It's
Ray,
great to see you.
Good to see you guys.
What's going on?
Just taking it easy.
You look in great shape, man. You're always in great shape.
Your eyes are really bad. No, I'm hanging in there, doing a little pregame, postgame with the Astros, which is
that's fun.
It's tough duty right now. I feel for Brad Mills right now. They've kind of taken all the veterans away from that club, and they're taking it on the chin on a regular basis.
But just think, could be in the American League West next year.
That's right. Come see us all the time.
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
Make 3 trips to Houston, and the Astros will be coming in here. And
well, I got a place to go play some golf, right? We'll tee them up. But
only when it's cool, though.
I told everybody in Houston, man, the way the club looks right now, they're going into this division. It's going to be tough for them for a little while, I think.
But I thought in 2010, when the Rangers ended up going to the World Series, they had a great interleague schedule, which included playing the Astros 6 times, which is their rivalry, and they weren't very good then either. And that helped them have a very, very good interleague schedule or record for that period of time.
Yeah, that's one of my beefs about interleague play. Depending on who you're playing, you could get a soft touch in the other division and make hay on the other clubs, but that's the way it goes.
Well, next year there's an interleague game every day because it's 15.
So how much fun are you having with the guys?
Oh, it's great. Old home week here, to see them all, see what they're doing with their lives now. And, some of them brought their wives and their kids, so it's awful nice. But, man, their kids are awful old, 10 years just flew by.
And Betty's here?
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Yeah, that's great. Give her our best for sure.
I will. The team's playing well. They're hanging in there. They got a great shot at that wild card.
Well, you had some pretty good pitching in 02 in that fabulous season that helped you send guys out. And I think Hudson, Mulder, Zito, Lido. This is too fast, Skip. This is like a...
No, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Art's going to stick around, of course. 3 ground ball outs.
6-pitch inning. You're not going anywhere.
your group, huh?
That's a pretty good player right there. A few good players.
Yes, you did.
We were talking about our rotation. Jeez, man. I'll tell you, the managers today would kill for that rotation. Yeah.
Well, your fourth guy, the late Corey Lytle, was unbelievable in that stretch.
He had a tremendous year for us that year, and always seemed to come through in the clutch when we needed him. And even our fifth starter, whoever was out there, gave us an opportunity to win on a regular basis.
So we like to, Ray and I have talked a lot about the games in that streak. Everybody remembers, of course, I guess the last three, all three walk-offs. But, we asked Terrence Long if any of the other games stood out, and he kind of stuck with those walk-offs. But what about you as the manager? Because there was quite a few blowouts in the streak, but there was also a few tighter games. Is there a game or any games that stand out maybe earlier in the streak?
Yeah, there was a game in Detroit that we were down quite a bit.
So that game always comes up.
Yes. And I think that's the one that really gave us the confidence to continue to play great baseball. But in Detroit, we were down by 4 or 5 runs and battled back late in that game to win it. And I don't know, there was just a feeling on the club at that point that, hey, good things are going to happen because we just pulled one out of the fire here, and it's tough to do that in Detroit no matter what kind of team they have. But we went on to obviously string 20 together, and the thing I was so proud about was it seemed like it was a different guy every day that stepped up and came through for us, either with a hit or a defensive play or coming out of the bullpen or a starter doing a great job. But our middle relief doesn't get a lot of credit, and they were outstanding. It just seemed like no matter who I brought in, they got the job done and got us to Billy Koch, who was just an iron horse that year.
Scary at times, but an iron horse.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the 20th game.
Thank God I didn't smoke. Earl Weaver and I would have a lot in common. He'd be firing in those cigarettes. But.
In the 20th, after the 11-0 lead, then Luis Alicea, I'll never forget that, gets a base hit off Billy Koch, ties the game. He ends up at second. With 2 outs, he gets picked off.
Picked off.
And of all things, where's he going? But I think that's when it all knew what was going to happen in the end. But the game you referenced in Detroit, 7-2 in the 7th, now 5-run inning. Shabby with a 2-run double. John Mabry, your veteran, who seemed to come up with so many big hits during that streak, came through also with a double. And the next thing you know, you guys had the lead.
There's a name that people forget that we're on that club. John Mabry carried us for a month.
Yes, he did.
I mean, he came over in a trade, I think, for Jeremy, wasn't it?
And, Philadelphia.
Yeah, and no one really expected much from John. He was actually an extra guy on the team at the time. I DH'd him a little bit here and there, played him in the outfield, first base. But when all of a sudden he caught fire, and man, he was getting 3 hits a day, leaving the yard, hitting 3-run jacks. He did a great job.
He was a veteran, Skip, and you had also David Justice. And talk about the importance of having a team, but needing those veterans to encourage the players that when they get down, they still had a chance to come back. And I know Justice is important, and just like you said, John Mabry doing the same thing.
Justice especially because he came from winning ball clubs. He was used to winning with the Yankees. He was used to winning with Atlanta. So he had that pedigree, and he knew what it took to win, and I'm sure he spent a lot of time behind the scenes with some of the younger guys, talking to them, calming them down.
And that ball somehow falls, and I'm not quite sure how it did.
Twilight. It's the twilight. Sometimes you just can't see
you're
it.
right. He may not have seen it because he did not go after it like he saw it.
That kind of reminded me of Minnesota in the Dome.
That's right.
We lost 3 or 4 games there with lazy fly
He didn't see it there, and then finally came in and maybe looking for Pennington. When he didn't see it, Pennington's pointing, and then Cespedes looked at Pennington. So at that point, neither one had a chance to get to it. But should have been an out. Should have been a runner at first base.
This is where you need your pitcher to cinch up his belt and to help his defense out. This young man's been pitching well.
He has, and great changeup, and he's trying to get the fastball into the right-hander so he can utilize the changeup away from the righties. And so far, he's had 11 days between starts. So he went the entire road trip, and because of the number of innings and being a rookie, trying to give him some extra time. But a good group of young pitchers.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan Straley pitched last night. The youngster picked up his win. Jared Parker, A.J. Griffin is on the DL. And of course, the veteran Bartolo Colon, he's still going strong.
That's a great story there.
Yeah.
You know, people tend to forget that, you know, Hudson, Zito, and Mulder all had a tough first year.
That's right.
But the second year, it was a different story. They learned an awful lot their rookie years, and it took them that 1 year to figure it all out. And once they did, man, it was Katie bar the door.
Ray, that was an E7. I just thought I'd throw that by you.
What? No.
We just got the word from the official score.
Are you?
Art, what are your thoughts? Let's get a former manager's thoughts on that scoring decision.
I haven't seen anybody catch the ball that they haven't seen.
They didn't see. Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm changing my card.
Wow. I'm going to leave mine.
All right, you're probably right. And that one looped down the left field line. Cespedes is going to play it on a hop. They're going to hold the runner. So the throw comes through right on the money. So Santana stops at third. Brantley moves up to second. Donald, excuse me, with the hit. So the bases are loaded. Nobody out for Shelley Duncan.
Another pitch that was supposed to be inside. Did he get it in far enough? And establish some sort of a pattern when you're trying to go inside with right-handers consistently. You start looking for them. Cespedes a long throw. This one he did see, but because it looked like it might be caught, Steve Smith held up the runner at third. Leadoff walk. Still baffles me that ball was so far from both Pennington and Cespedes. How a left fielder could get an error because he couldn't see it. Interesting. I put a 7 down thinking it was going to be caught. Then I put a base hit down.
So you've run through 3 different strikes.
Yeah, and so I don't know what to do.
We need a 1-2-3 double play.
That's right. Isn't that always? You're always, no matter where you are, the base is loaded. You're always thinking about that, aren't you?
Yeah.
One pitch to Duncan is a bit high. So Art, I know there was talk about whether you were going to come or not, but you said you felt like you wanted to be here and you wanted to see the guys that you kind of went to battle with.
Plus, the money that's being raised is for Corey Lytle's foundation. You know, Corey was one of my favorites on the club and did a wonderful job for us. What a tragedy that was. And obviously, I've spent most of the day with the other guys and my coaching staff. A few of the guys, Maka and Quaddy's here, and Thad Bosley. So it's nice to talk about old times, and as I said, to see what they're doing with their lives right now. And Maka's already got me coming to Pittsburgh after the season's over to take some money from me on the golf course.
Well, let's see. You mentioned Quaddy, former manager. Maka, former manager. You got a few former managers here. Huh?
Wash.
Well,
it's pretty nice to have a staff.
That's right.
You're like one of those, like the late Bill Walsh. All of his assistants, they all got head coaching jobs.
Well, Mike Socha's had 3 coaches become managers. So it's.
Well, they were all deserving, all of them, and they've all done a great job. It's a tough job.
You know, you've spent enough time.
Fastball just a bit inside. So do you miss managing? I know it's tough. You managed in New York, so you went right into the belly of the beast there a little bit, but do you miss it?
Well, I miss the camaraderie amongst the guys, the competition obviously on the field. Yeah, I miss a lot of it, but there are parts of it I don't miss.
Sure.
Because, I'm doing some pregame, postgame with the Astros, and there's some games you're sitting up there watching, and it's just some crazy things.
No, it's not good. And that's going to be a grand slam for Shelley Duncan, and the Indians lead 4-0. So a walk, an error, a single, and a home run.
And if you're the manager for the A's right now, you're not feeling good. That's when I'm glad I'm up in the box. Watching games, because it churns at you.
Dan Straley threw a 3-2 slider to Jeff Francoeur last night in Kansas City, and he swung a pitch out of the strike zone. Look at the pitch he gets. Right down the middle. Fastball right down the middle. And, Tommy Malone has a great changeup. And when you get 3-2, the hitter's sitting dead red with a fastball. Changeup's not a bad one to throw.
Yeah.
Because he's looking for it. He got it, and he hit it.
guess you could say that's part of the learning curve.
Yes, it is. That's unfortunate, but it is. What as a manager, and great one that you were, what is the toughest decision, or I guess job as a manager, but probably the decision? What's the toughest?
Well,
or for you, put it that way. I mean, everybody's different.
In the American League, you know, you've got a starter out there who's pitching a real good ball game, and maybe he's down 2-1 or 1-0, and you know, late in the game, you know, you want to give him the opportunity to get the win because he's still pitching a great game. That's when it's a tough call for you. When to, you know, go out there and get him out of the game, because you don't want to overdo it with him. You don't want his pitch count to get way up there and then affect his next start or two. But at the same time, he's pitching so well, you'd like to give him a great opportunity to, you know, to get the win if at all possible. But it's that to me is the most difficult thing. In the National League, you know, you've got the double switches going, and you can keep more people involved. I think in American League, keeping your bench players sharp is a challenge for a manager. Because once you get the set lineup and you're doing well, you don't like to mess with it too much. But at the same time, you have to rely on those guys coming off the bench from time to time to win you ball games, especially if someone gets hurt. If he's not sharp, it's not fair to put him out there when he hasn't had any ABs. So that's a challenge in the American League.
Well, Ray and I always, we joke about it, but I think there's truth to it. Hard to be a good manager with a bad bullpen.
Oh, jeez.
Would you agree with that?
Well, it makes it really difficult because then you have a tendency to maybe try to push your starter a little bit further than you should, because you're kind of hesitant to go to the bullpen because they're struggling. But at the same time, as a manager, you got to do what you're paid to do. You got to make those decisions and give your bullpen an opportunity to do their job. Even if they're scuffling, eventually you're going to need them, and you just got to keep putting them out there until they figure it out, or maybe you have to get somebody else.
You were in Houston probably when the Nationals came in Strasburg, and all the story about the number of innings and shutting him down. When you hear that, and you know in the case of the Nationals, they're trying to go to postseason for the first time, and you're thinking, and as you say, you don't want to hurt a young man, but there's a lot of controversy, a lot of conversation now about number of innings for a pitcher who's coming off surgery and different things like that. What are the thoughts of a manager? In the case of Davey Johnson in Washington, saying, wait a minute now, you're taking my best pitcher and you're going to shut him down in September?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get into the postseason, and let's say they do get there, which it looks like they're going to, and they lose. Now you have to look at your other 24 ball players on your team.
Yeah.
And they've worked hard all season long to get to this point and have a chance maybe to win their first world championship, and you're taking their best pitcher away from them. That's going to be a tough pill to swallow. Because, as you know, as you both know, it's hard to get there every year.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, what happens if the next 2-3 years they don't get there? I mean, this is a golden opportunity. Everybody in baseball says they're one of the top teams in baseball right now. Sometimes you got to go for that ring when you got the shot. But like I said, I'm glad I'm not the one to have to make that decision.
And you're probably the big believer right now in the first round division series going 7, right?
You better believe it.
Forget those 5 gamers.
Oh, man.
That had to be extremely hard. I mean, especially with the results, but to have those teams. And in the case of that season, you guys won 103. The Angels won 9-9. They were the wild card. You won the division. And first round again.
Yeah. And the thing was, you know, it seemed like there was just one game in each of those 5-game series that something went haywire for us. And
that's right.
It cost us the series. And that's what the problem is with just a 5-game series. And I think the fact that we had 4 outstanding starters, it could have helped us if it was a 7-game series.
All right, thanks for joining us. It's great to see you. You look great. Enjoy yourself.
Thanks a lot. You guys
Tell
do a
Maka
great
to
job.
come over here, too. Don't be hiding.
So Carter will lead things off, followed by Moss and Gomes. So 2-0 to Chris Carter, who hit a fly ball to right field to end the first inning. Where you been?
Oh, it's just happened to run into an official score. The official ruling is that they told him that if it should be caught, somebody's got to get an error, and the fact that Cespedes didn't indicate by throwing his hands up that he didn't see the ball, that he must have seen the ball, and he didn't catch it, so it's an error. Oh well. I said if you can't see it, you can't catch it.
Yeah, that's not a good call. I'm sorry.
I agree with you, partner.
When the official scores, see Ray coming. Oh boy, here he comes. Carter shoots one to right center field for a hit. Chu cuts it off. So a leadoff single by Chris Carter. Here's our trivia question tonight, brought to you by AT&T. Who did Scott Hatteberg pinch hit for on September 4th, 2002 in the ninth inning against Kansas City when he hit the walk-off home run for consecutive win number 20? It was a pinch hitting appearance.
Yeah, he just ran did an Ironman event. And he's got more energy than anybody ever thought about having.
Maybe he'll figure that out. First pitch to Brandon Moss is in for a strike. So Art Howe looks to be in good shape. Very
He's
nice
always
man.
in great shape. Great golfer and great condition. And hey, he had a bench coach who I didn't think you want to mess with Ken Maka. Became the manager after Art Howe, but Mock.
The black belt, is it?
Exactly. Yes, he could handle anything necessary.
Hey, he handled a very upset Milton Bradley. Remember that?
That is the best I've ever seen.
He was strong.
To pick him up and for Milton to say he saved, maybe probably saved his career, because who knows where he was headed before Mock got to him.
Moss grounded out. It was in the second inning. So the A's will try to chip away at this 4-0 deficit.
Well, as Art Howe said, there were games that in that game in Detroit you get down, but these are the challenges for a team. And it's still early in the game, only the fourth inning. 4-run inning thanks to the grand slam by Shelley Duncan, but it's not over. It's the beauty of the game. Just keep going. And it is the second time through the batting order, although McAllister had a very, very good third inning. Top of the order, all three ground ball outs.
Payoff pitch, and that's high. So the A's got something going here in the bottom of the fourth.
That was great. Sunday uniforms at Progressive Field. He was good against the Boston Red Sox, nailing the outside corner. And you get a good fastball, you can use it both sides of the plate, and that's what he did then. He's doing it tonight. And as manager Matty Acton liked what he did then, I'm sure right now he likes what he did.
So just the 2 earned runs in 8 innings. Before that, McAllister had a terrible start where he got knocked out in the second inning. That was that game in Minnesota. The Twins won 14-3. So McAllister bounced back, got the win in his last start. He's got a 4-0 lead tonight. Good opportunity for the Athletics. Carter at second, Moss at first, Gomes the hitter. Gomes struck out swinging in the second inning. Fastball is high, 1-0.
Getting a lot of fastballs, which can help the A's hitters, but also the patience is necessary getting all the fastballs.
Good rip there by Gomes. That walk to Moss, the first walk by McAllister. He has struck out 2. High fly ball foul into the seats down the right field line. So Gomes taking his time, digs back in, behind in the count 1-2. And he got him with a breaking ball. So that's out number 1. Gomes strikes out for the second time.
Well, he's using the fastball till he gets ahead. Then a pretty sharp slider. Marson goes to the outside part of the plate, off the plate, and Johnny Gomes maybe still thinking fastball, too close to take, and just a foul tip into the catcher's mitt.
So 1 out. The Rays and the Angels are underway. Shields and Weaver in game 2 of that series. I got a score for you, Ray. You want to hear it?
How about 0-0?
That one's lined left field, and Donald plays it off the base of the wall. Carter's going to come in to score, and it's going to be an RBI double for Josh Donaldson. So the A's are on the board.
Aggressive hitting by Josh Donaldson. Base hit to right field his first at bat. Second pitch he saw, gets a hanger here. And a hanging breaking ball almost left the park. And off the wall, Donald played it well again. Carter took his time to make sure from second base that trailing him was Moss and able to get to third base. And as we noted last night, that was costly for the Royals because their lack of aggressiveness on the base pass. But tonight, Carter scores easily. Moss to third, and with the throw coming back in, Donaldson got to second. So a productive out. Ace can capitalize on this. Get right back in the game.
Norris pops it up, and it's going to just get into the seat. So that score, Ray, I want to give it to you. Remember, it's Weaver and Shields.
Well, I can say this. I don't even look. It's either 0-0 or 8-7.
No, it's the Rays 9, the Angels 1 in the 4th inning.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Weaver is gone. He gave up 9 earned runs in 3 innings. He threw 58 pitches.
Wow.
So even the great ones,
yeah,
every once in a while. So the Rays won last night 7-0, winning tonight 9-1 over the Angels. Good pitch there, a fastball 0-2. So we'll keep an eye on that game, but it's all Rays early.
Well, that looks like a Toronto 3, Texas 2 also.
That is correct. That's a final.
Yeah, and once again, we noted the Angels record when the Rangers lost. I think it was like 15-18 at one time, and the A's also fell in that category with the 3 consecutive losses, Chicago and 2 in Kansas City, while the Rangers were losing. That's why it's important, and Art Howe knows, because his team, once they got a lead with a 20-game win streak, it was tough for everybody to catch up, although the Angels played very good in staying close. Right now, Derek Norris needs contact to get at least 1 in from third.
Fastball fouls it back. So updated standings with the Rangers losing again 3-2. So the A's 5.5 back, Angels 6.5 back. So good battle here. 1-2 pitch hit toward third. He's going to get the run home. Lillibridge takes the sure out at first. Coming in to score is Moss, and it's 4-2. So Norris gets the RBI.
And that's knowing the infielders are playing back. Mike Gallego told Moss, contact, go. The ground ball. Derek Norris did his job with a couple of strikes, fell behind quickly, and got the breaking ball, hit on top of it, ground ball, couldn't find the hole, but see Moss off the bank, running hard, and the third baseman Lillibridge just getting a sure out first. So all of a sudden 4-0, 4-2, and that's a big comeback for the A's in the bottom half of the inning. I think Derek didn't like the second strike called by Joe West. Don't take it back though behind the plate. Leave it in the dugout.
Pennington fouls the fastball back. Teams are really coming at Pennington with the hard stuff. Fastballs. He's been chasing the high fastball a little bit. And that one on the inside corner, and it's 0-2.
Seen 5 pitches and 5 fastballs.
Base hit here, and the A's can make it a 1-run game. And there's another fastball, this one on the outside corner. So Pennington trying to get rolling.
Callister didn't see the signs. He must not have those. What is that shirt? What do they call it? Shirt sign? What is it?
Game sign.
Game sign. Game sign.
I think that's what they're called. I can never remember, and I got them in my bag. Yeah, game signs. See, now I got to look. Now I got to get it out and make sure that I'm right, because in fairness to the manufacturer.
Well, I'm surprised you're just not wearing them when you come to
game signs. Here they are. Here's my pack.
Put it on your fingernails.
Game signs.
In your baseball rule book.
I got a baseball rule book. Yeah. Don't ask me again. All right. Pennington, base hit right field. So heading around third, Donaldson scores, and Ray, guess what they threw him?
A hanging breaking ball. After all, if you want to speed up a hitter's bat, you throw him something soft.
So Pennington says, I'll take it, and he makes it a 4-3 game.
From what I could see, the fastballs that he was had thrown to him, and they're all fouled over this way towards the left side, so he gets a breaking ball. Great job of hitting by Cliff Pennington, reacting on the slider. A much slower pitch, and he was able to pull it, so that quickly the A's have got back to within 1.
So here's Coco Crisp in there first strike. So sometimes you just scratch your head and say thank you.
Well, talk often about the importance of a catcher watching the hitter swing the bat and what he does with certain pitches. And you know, you start throwing fastballs after fastballs and say, well, I need to do something different. No, you don't. The guy's not getting around on a certain pitch doesn't mean you have to throw something else to help him. And fortunately, Cliff Pennington got a different pitch and took advantage of it. It's Manny Acton not calling the signs. He's calling the pitches that are throwovers, and he just gave Marson the sign for his pitcher to throw to first base.
So Pennington gets his 17th RBI. Count now 1-2.
Well, last night at Kansas City, Kauffman Stadium, Coco Crisp over the out-of-town scoreboard. We knew it was a home run. It took the umpires going in to review it. Francoeur came back with it, and there was the call. And so he and Cespedes, it took a while as he stood on second, but he knew their little ritual, the home run, was waiting.
Pennington runs, pitches a ball, throw is high, and it's a stolen base. So now the A's have a chance to tie it with a base hit.
Coco Chris did a great job. He, being a base stealer, knows the importance of the pitches out of the strike zone. Kind of helped the runner, and Pennington a great jump. And what we've seen with McAllister, unless he has been told to throw to the base, Cabrera trying to dig, but Coco put his bat up, kind of came back a little bit, but left his bat up, distracting. And he's asking right there, Marson asking if Coco was over the plate, which he wasn't. The bat was, but he was just trying to get out of the way of the pitch. But the only way Marson was going to get that call is if he made contact with Coco, but he had to do it with Coco in the batter's box, and that's not going to be legal.
2-2 pitch in there, strike 3 call, but a good inning for the A's. They score 3 times on 3 hits and a walk, so we're on to the 5th. 4-3 Indians.
On-field screening of Moneyball, presented by Vantel Networks. Tomorrow, after the A's play the Indians, fans with a special pre-purchase ticket will be invited to watch Moneyball. And Scott Hatterberg will give a special guest introduction of the film. Field-level tickets that include the movie are $40. If you already have tickets to the game, movie tickets are available for $12. A portion of the proceeds will benefit cystic fibrosis research, support, and resources. Go to oaklandathletics.com/Moneyball or visit A's Ticket Services while supplies last.
5th inning. It's now a 4-3 game. So the A's answered right back after the grand slam by Duncan. And that one's hit hard. Picked by Donaldson on the backhand. And he throws out Cabrera.
Hey, Josh Donaldson, he's had a few opportunities at third base. He's had a few opportunities swinging the bat. But this time he's come back. Seems like a different player. Playing a solid third base, picks it perfectly, has a very strong arm, took his time. So while Brandon Inge gets to watch, he is still on the disabled list. Josh Donaldson doing exactly what the veteran Brandon Inge has been doing his whole career, playing third base. And Donaldson a big hit, also a couple of hits tonight. Well, sometimes you just have to be quick, and not bad for a catcher. Play different positions. Give him a lot of credit when Scott Sizemore, way back in spring training, and injured his knee, out for the season. Donaldson stepped in.
Chu rolls over on that one, 4-3.
So that's still in there on that fly ball.
I don't know. I haven't heard. He's probably still recuperating from the tongue lash.
I need whiteout if we're going to have to change it.
I got it.
So I got a 7 in the middle of a 1.
See Nishak throwing. had an official score here say to me a couple years ago, hey, could you tell your partner? I said, no. No. If you have something to tell my partner, then you tell him. I am not going to get him between you two. We're all adults. You could be an intimidating man.
No. Not in the wonderful game of baseball.
Did you know they ruled that an error?
Well, we'll have to tell Cespedes through our good friend Ariel Prieto that in the future, if there's a ball he doesn't see, he has to start throwing his hands.
Just make the biggest scene you've ever made in your life.
As that's going to make a big difference in today's new scoring. There's the changeup that Tommy Malone is his best pitch. And maybe he'll go to sleep tonight and say, if I'd thrown that 3-2 changeup to Shelley Duncan, might not have hit a grand slam. You throw him a fastball 3-2, but when you have that kind of a changeup, you can throw it anytime, any count.
A line drive by Carlos Santana into right field.
Comes back with a fastball. Santana swung at every pitch like he's going to get a fastball, and he finally got it. Fooled badly on the changeup and the fastball away.
Brantley.
On the plate, and Santana's one of those hitters that he is aggressive. As Derek Norris found out with the follow through in his backswing.
So here's Michael Brantley. It's like Brantley has maybe finally figured it out. The Indians had high hopes for Brantley when they acquired him in the CC Sabathia trade, but really until this year, a couple of somewhat disappointing seasons. But better this year, hitting .290 coming into today.
Well, his manager Manny Acta likes the fact that if they pitch carefully to the hitter Santana in front, put runners on base, they figure he's going to come through, and he has come through. Tommy Malone, he's the shutdown inning. He's 1 out away from getting it after a couple of ground ball outs.
Brantley had a base hit in the second, and then he hit that ball that still in question whether it was a hit or an error. Santana short lead at first. One goes over there anyway. That game in Anaheim is now the Rays 10 and the Angels 3 in the top of the 5th inning. Close pitch, call the ball, 2-2.
And it would not be surprising to have Derek Norris, even with his back to Joe West, saying something, because he had a pitch similar called against him that he was not happy with. See the angle? Joe West looking across the plate. Did not give the call to Tommy Malone.
That one's in the dirt. So now a full count. So Santana will run on the pitch.
Tommy Malone might be making his last pitch, because Donald the on deck hitter, and then Neshek is ready. Tough decision, is Art Howe mentioned, one of the toughest for a manager to decide what you're going to do with your pitchers.
And he gets Brantley swinging.
Perfect.
So that is strikeout number 6, and it's a 4-3 Indians lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th. pinch hit for on the September 4th, 2002 game, in ninth inning, when he hit the home run for the 20th consecutive win. He was pinch hitting for Eric Burns against a guy who had a turbo sinker, right? Jason Grimsley.
That didn't sink.
Didn't sink. Not that one.
Gave it up Wednesday night, gave it up Monday afternoon. That was a very strange schedule. Monday, Labor Day, Tuesday off.
There was an off day on Tuesday.
Wednesday night, Thursday off.
What was the reason for the Tuesday off day? Because I saw that on
now I'm trying to remember.
I was thinking it was there a reason for it?
I want to say football, but I don't think they would have played. It would have been an exhibition if they would have. You know, I don't know. There was something that caused, because otherwise, maybe they just. It was Labor Day Monday,
and then off day Tuesday,
and then the series concluded Wednesday night. But it's just a short, just 2-game series.
Donald on the move, goes into a slide and makes the catch. A lot of things to avoid down there. So here is the home run. That, you're right, that did not sink.
No. There's Eric Burns, number 22, on the top of Billy Koch.
Now, I saw a bunch of uniforms out there, and then I saw a guy with a yellow shirt on and khaki shorts.
Must have been Boost. Maybe we could go back and take a look at our good friend Steve Vucinich 10 years ago.
Well, Moose, you know, sitting on 19 consecutive wins, got a chance to set an American League record. You can't blame him for being in the dugout. Check out the guy on the left side.
Go get him, Moose. Go get him. Here he is. Well, of course.
This, I mean, he probably had the spread ready.
Of
Steve
course. He's got great help, right?
Yeah, so
Cliffy.
He wanted to go see history.
I'm surprised Angel wasn't out there. Angel was always down in the tunnel. Every time there was a win, and then that season when you have 103 wins, Angel's down there a lot. It's good times. I mean, that just no chance of having one of Vuce's spreads flipped. You know.
No, not after 20 consecutive wins. Shot fair down the third base line. Cespedes headed for second as the ball rattles around in the corner a little bit. So a one-out double, and that's the tying run.
Well, his third at bat, single to right field, his first at bat, and then they try to go inside. Fastball, look how quickly he pulls, opens the hip, the bat speed, tremendous. Exmo, and still looks fast. At the top end, it was past Littlebridge at third, and the speed. You know, it's amazing watching how well Cespedes has played in this, his first ever season at Major League Baseball, professional baseball, U.S. Just think how much better he's going to get.
Or how much better he is now compared to April.
Well, that too, and fighting through a schedule that's about 72 games longer than he ever played.
Yeah.
Although he spent time on the DL, but he's picking it up. And again, we have to really credit Ariel Prieto, his interpreter, really helping him in so many ways, and especially during the tough time when he might find himself wanting to talk about being tired. Prieto's not going to let him. He's going to make sure that he's doing what he needs to do to stay strong, to play the game, knowing that it's more than he's ever played before. It just continues to get better and better.
Strike at the knees to Carter, 2-1. Carter opened up that 3-run fourth inning with a single and scored.
Well, Joe West called this, and I didn't think it was a strike when I first saw it, and then less after looking at the replay.
Runner goes, and he's going to be safe. Cespedes takes off as Marson never got a throw off.
He thinks, and he proved it, that third base is the easiest for him to steal. Ricky thought it as well, and Ricky stole more than anybody in this pitch. Marson just could not handle it, so now the infield has to come in. And Mike Gallego trying to talk to him, and Cespedes said, "What?" I don't understand.
That would hit towards center. And Brantley's got it. Cespedes comes in to score, so the stolen base is huge, and the A's have tied it here in the 5th.
Speed. It helped the A's win on Saturday in Chicago. His hustle. Well, a ground ball to shortstop, infield hit. He scored the go-ahead run, and this time after stealing third, plenty of time, pushes off the bag. Brantley's not even going to make the throw, and Cespedes comes in to score the tying run. So a Cespedes run. We talked about Ricky runs, and that's a Cespedes run.
Swing and a miss by Brandon Moss. Neshek gets up again now throwing, so could be it for Tommy Malone. Big swing and a miss again. It's 0-2.
Yeah, I mentioned this, and I thought this inning and watching Cespedes steal third, it was 1 out at the time, and Ariel Prieto had to tell him, as much as he likes to steal third, you don't want to make the first or the third out at third base. And Cespedes saying, "There's 1 out, that means I can run." So he knows math, and he got the great jump and his accelerating speed, able to steal third easily, and it's a big run to tie the game, thanks to Chris Carter's sac fly.
Swing and a miss. Moss strikes out. But a run for the A's thanks to Cespedes' speed and the Carter sacrifice fly. 4-4 game after 5. Here's our Subway Eat Fresh Ask Glenn and Ray question. Robert from Vallejo asked, don't you think it's a bit ironic that on the 10th anniversary of the streak, the 2002 and 2012 A's teams are similar? Both squads never give up, and they both have surprised everyone in baseball.
You're exactly right, Robert. Is that a question or a statement? I think it's a profound statement. I think that couldn't have been more true. So we just... So did you detect a question in there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, you answered.
Oh, no. Definitely. Pat Neshek takes over. I would say there was probably more established players in the 2002 team.
Well, in that team, there might have been expectations because of the success the A's were already having prior to that season. And going to postseason, and unfortunately losing Game 5 of the Division Series, which started in 2000 for 4 consecutive seasons. So probably the biggest thing was losing some key players after the 01 year, and rebounding. But I think, as Terrence Long said, everybody expected the team not to play as well because of the loss of certain players. And that motivates the team more than anybody, especially if players come to a team and they say you're not supposed to be good, and they know they have the talent. And some of the acquisitions prove that. Some very good acquisitions that helped them throughout. I thought Art House said it best. The trade, John Mabry from Philadelphia, David Justice, a veteran of the club. And those are the guys that helped the team, especially when they got down, even more so in that 20-game win streak.
So, yeah, I guess there are some similarities. But that team in 2002 had been good for a couple years, like you said, even though they did lose a few important guys.
But they had that one ingredient, pitching. Hudson, Muller, Zito. They were together. And when you have three guys, you can imagine a team facing the A's in a 3-game series and facing those three guys, pretty good chance you're going to walk away with no wins.
So the final standings in 2002.
99 wins by the Angels. Just 4 behind the Athletics. They were the wild card. So
strike 3 call. Donald was headed to first base.
Now there's your 3-2 slider. We're talking about the Tommy Malone fastball to Shelly Duncan. There's a slurve right in the middle of the plate. Bell tie. So Big Joe West has the strike below the knees and the bell tie, or below the letters. McDonald might have been fooled on the slider and hoping that Joe West wouldn't call it.
So here's Shelly Duncan, who takes a strike. Well, you saw those standings. The A's, though, with 11 games left in that season, were 1 game back. And then they won 9 of the last 11 and won the division by 4 games. So they had to finish strong to win that division, and they did. 0-2 to Shelly Duncan, who has a grand slam in this game, accounting for all of the Indians' runs. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Neshek.
A lot of motion, a lot of movement of his body, and then it pulls a string. And Neshek, just such a different look for a right-hander, and just throws the ball, flails it, falls off towards the first base side, and as a hitter, trying to stay back as much as possible. And Shelly Duncan with a big wow. You always like to see those from a hitter who just hit a grand slam and heads back to the dugout.
I kind of like the action by Neshek after the strikeout. Watch the right arm after he throws it. It recoils in an upward motion.
And all the while, the hitter's trying to figure out where the ball's coming. He sees the hand and the arm flying all over the place.
Well, it's like his way of balancing himself.
It's a man that looks like he's very happy to be back in the big leagues. And why not? Some good seasons with the Twins and now with the A's. And just keep throwing the slider, especially the right-handers.
You know, when you ride the bull, you got to whip that hand back.
That's right. How about Exmo? Here we go with Pat Neshek. There's the pitch, and there's the follow-through. Watch the right arm.
Get my balance.
Whoa. Oh, he's pointing up with a strike. That's what he's doing. Finger straight up, strike 3.
Pennington's under it. And Neshek has a very nice top of the 6th inning. Couple of strikeouts. Bottom of the 6th coming up, tied at 4. Light Freeze Cam. Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. It's the world's most refreshing beer.
That is a handmade
I like it.
hat. That's special. Probably didn't take a long time to make it either. He can handle the needle.
So Gomes to lead off, followed by Donaldson and Norris, bottom of the 6th inning. A's have battled back. They were down 4-0. 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. First pitch to Gomes from Zach McAllister is a strike. Gomes has struck out a couple of times.
That's playing Rolling on the River down there. Right below us. At the trumpet.
Gomes drives one toward right, but Chu gets back and over. He's got it for out number 1.
During every home game this season, the A's will sell authentic game used and autographed memorabilia in the West Side Club of the Coliseum. Items include autographed baseballs and jerseys, game used helmets, bats, jerseys, and bases, lineup cards, and more. All items are authenticated under the MLB Authentication Program. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the Oakland A's Community Fund. I always like it when, case of last night, Dan Straley picked up his first Major League win. And they all get the lineup card, everything that you can from your first ever win, and it's always special. It's all authenticated now.
So he got all the goods.
All of it.
Boy, good pitches to Donaldson. Painting the corner is McAllister. Good night for Donaldson. He singled in the 2nd, doubled in a run in the 4th, and then scored.
3 pitches in the first 2 at-bats for a couple of hits, and 2 pitches painted by McAllister in this at-bat for strikes.
To pitch just a bit high with the fastball. Rays still leading 10-3 over the Angels. 6th inning now in Anaheim. The lefty Tony Sipp starts to throw. And that one lined. Right field, base hit. Donaldson is 3 for 3. Well, join us tonight on A's Postgame Live for the A-Team, a radio and TV simulcast with us 4 broadcasters. Ken Cornick, Vince Catrone, Ray Fosse, and myself will get together, having an unscripted roundtable discussion about tonight's game. It's the A-Team coming up after the game on A's Postgame Live and on 95.7 The Game. So we will gather, talk about what we hope is a A's victory. Last time we did the A-Team, it was a long game. 15 innings. First pitch to Norris, breaking ball for a strike.
Well, there's a pitch that we showed the distance between home plate and where the catcher is, and there's a great example. Ball crossed the plate, what looked like in the strike zone, but by the time it got Marson's hand, his catcher's mitt, it seemed low.
And Norris tries to hold up on a pitch that was running in on him. He could not do it. 0-2. RBI ground out and a single for Norris tonight.
Trying to get out of the way. Unfortunately, his bat went too far.
Breaking ball and a good one. Foul tip held on by the catcher Marson. So that's out number 2, and that's strikeout number 6 for McAllister.
Credit to Derek Norris, although swings and misses on this slider down, maybe out of the strike zone. But remember back early in the game, he got hit in the head, follow through backswing by Carlos Santana. So he seems to be okay and probably a little frustrated now after swinging at a pitch out of the strike zone.
First pitch to Pennington is hit on the ground to the second baseman, Kipnis. Side retired. A's get a single by Donaldson. He is stranded, and we're on to the 7th 4-4 game. Years ago, the A's historic 20-game win streak hit number 4 on that win streak. Career home run, or career RBI number 1,000 on the home run by David Justice. Mark Mulder, terrific for 8 innings, strikes out 4, just a couple of runs and 5 hits. The A's beat the White Sox that afternoon 9-2 right here at the Coliseum. So that was win number 4 of the winning streak. So still in its early stages. It would go on through September 5th. It ended on the 6th of September.
Shut out by Brad Rackey, the Minnesota Twins.
That's right.
At the Metrodome. Too many off days that week. That's what happened.
Neshek had a very good 6th inning. Couple of strikeouts. He faces Marson, Kipnis, Cabrera, Norberto in the bullpen. This one bounced to Pennington, who's got it. And that's out number 1. So Marson is 0 for 3. Here's our Chevron pitching matchup for tomorrow's game against the Indians, game 2. Corey Kluber against Bartolo Colon. So a couple of right-handers. 5:30 A's pregame live, 6 o'clock of the ball game. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and tune up your oil change, tune up and smog experts.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, coming into pitch.
California is brought to you by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And by Jack in the Box. Get the all-American Jack Combo at Jack in the Box. It's a no-nonsense burger with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores.
4-4 game, top of the 7th, 1 out. And Jordan Alberto comes in, facing the left-handed hitting Kipnis. Switch hitting Cabrera in the on-deck circle. Alberto pitched on Tuesday night. That was his last appearance in Kansas City. Went an inning in the 3rd. No hits, no runs, with a couple of strikeouts. These are the games where I think the A's always seem to have the advantage because of the bullpen.
You'd like to think so, and with the addition of Neshek, he's helped out from the right side and kind of that bridge, which he can throw some innings, but also step in, as he did for 4 batters and got them out. Now Alberto gets his first one of the strikeout.
So he blows it right by Kipnis.
Usually the most important innings are 6 and 7, because you typically have your setup man and closer. But if you can have those, and the A's do, to get through the case tonight with Tommy Malone going just 5 innings. And there is the current closer, Grant Balfour, hitting down.
Cabrera is 2 for 3. The only out he's made was a very nice play by Donaldson at 3rd.
It's a good point you make about the bullpen, and I think the most important thing, that when the phone call goes down to Rick Rodriguez from Kurt Young or Bob Melvin, no surprises. Guys don't say, "Oh, it's me." You know, they have an idea, they know the roles, and that's always key for a good bullpen.
He's bullpen at 2.90 ERA. That's the best in the American League. 2-1 now to Cabrera, with Chu, a left-handed hitter, in the on-deck circle.
You just saw the Royals bullpen, and they're pretty good. So
yeah.
If the A's are better as far as ERA than the Royals, that's pretty good. Says a lot. These are the matchups. Alberto coming in, he's turning Cabrera around to bat right-handed, and he's got the left-handed Chu in the on-deck circle.
So 3-1 now to Cabrera. 13 home runs for the very fine Indian shortstop.
Cabrera's like one of the other great shortstops, Omar Vizquel, that played for the Indians. Doesn't have to use his glove.
Plays the bare hand.
Makes some miraculous plays on the infield.
Probably make the argument that he's the Indians' best all-around player.
Absolutely. The franchise player. That's what they do in football, right?
Yep.
See?
Franchise tag. Another hard hit foul ball. Indians signed Cabrera to an extension. He is signed through 2014. Reached for it, pops it up to shallow right field. Brandon Moss is under it. Side retired. So the A's bullpen rolls along. 7th inning stretch. We're tied at 4. And now they're going to try to take the lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. And they'll do it against a new pitcher when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Tony Sipp, the left-hander, comes in for his 48th appearance. He's got more strikeouts than innings pitched. And he'll face Crisp, Weeks, and Cespedes, a couple of switch hitters, and then a right-handed hitter. No decision for Zach McAllister. In 91 pitches, he had a 4-0 lead, could not hold it. 4 earned runs. So McAllister done. Sipp comes in. He'll face Coco Crisp, who is 0 for 3.
Sipp fastball about 90 miles per hour, slider and changeup, and kind of the workhorse for Manny Acta. Backdoor slider. When you have a 4-0 lead, you shouldn't be leaving after 6 innings with a no decision. But give credit to the A's coming back, especially after the Indians had the grand slam off the bat of Shelley Duncan. Shelley swinging like his father swung the bat. And he's a player and catcher of the A's and the Tribe.
Swing hard, you may hit it.
Oh, he had a lot of home runs. Dave Duncan.
So 1-1 to Crisp, who has grounded out twice and struck out. Another off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. It's a big game tonight in that AL wildcard race where the Tigers beat the Orioles 5-3 in Detroit. Verlander started, got a no decision. Another changeup, and Coco strikes out. So that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads. Whether it's the steam train through the Redwood Forest or the beach train to Santa Cruz, Roaring Camp is the ride of a lifetime. RoaringCamp.com. One out here in the bottom of the 7th for Weeks.
Joe West had to use the handle, the knob end of the bat, and Jamal wished to get something off the plate. He bent down to sweep it off, and I guess something wouldn't come off, so.
Kick it a little bit?
Yeah, let me use your bat, Jamal. So Jamal should have said, no, you can't mess up my bat. See, smart thing, he used the knob, not the barrel. First thing a hitter could do is clean his cleats. Barrel of the bat.
You see it done though quite a bit.
Yeah, usually you want to turn the bat around, use the handle. You don't want to mess up the hitting part of the bat.
So 0-2 to Weeks. In that Tigers win, Prince Fielder hit 2 home runs, his 21st and 22nd, and Cabrera homered his 31st. So the big fellas for the Tigers come through. And that one is tracked down by Kipnis. So that game is the only one finished with the top 5 teams. The Red Sox lost. So the Rays right now, who are winning, have the top spot. Tigers, after their win, are now tied with the Orioles for that 2nd spot. And the A's 1 game back. That's with the games that are finished already tonight. We're going to have a pitching change. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. Yoenis Cespedes is going to face Joe Smith. Smith is pretty good. He's a workhorse.
Smith is your typical reliever, sinker slider. Drop downs a little bit from the side, throws well, throws hard actually. More deception than maybe velocity, but sinker slider. Stands to the third base side of the slab. Crossfire towards the outside part of the plate to the right hand.
And there is that little slider that spins in for a strike to Cespedes, who is 2 for 3. Single, a double, a run scored, also a stolen base. Talking to the Indians people before the game, they said Smith, Pastano, Perez.
Yep. 3
pretty good relievers, and they rely on those 3 guys.
Cespedes' first home run since late July in Baltimore. Last night, a line drive and a 0-2 fastball. A bullet to left center. Good night last night, couple of hits tonight, and a big stolen base after his double.
Stolen base helped the A's tie the game. And there's the good slider, and Cespedes strikes out. So the A's go 3 up, 3 down, and we're headed to the 8th. This ball game is tied at 4. Eighth inning, a tight one, about as tight as you can get. 4-4. It'll be Chu, Santana, Brantley to face Jordan Alberto. First pitch is just a bit low.
Well, you said it right. The A's have a good bullpen, but usually games come down to the bullpen, and that's what's going to happen. Good hit by the Tribe and the Athletics as well.
1-1 the count to Chu, who is 0 for 3, a fly out, a strikeout, and a ground out for the Indians' third place hitter. This one popped up down the left field line. Long run for Cespedes, and it's going to be foul right near the bullpen home plate, or one of the 2 home plates down there. Chu has pretty good power. He's got 14 home runs. And that hit him. So fastball, and Chu is aboard to lead things off here in the 8th inning. So not a good start for the Athletics in the top of the 8th.
Well, one of the worst things you can do is have a couple of strikes on a hitter and either try to go inside, have it go too far. That time looked like he just lost it. I don't know that Norris had set up inside. More of an outside fastball location, but it ran up and in, didn't follow through with the pitch, and ends up putting the runner on base and lead off the inning.
So Cook gets up quickly. Santana steps in. He's a switch hitter, and he takes a stride right there. Santana's been aboard a couple of times with a walk and a single, and he has scored a run. Rays still leading the Angels 10-3 in the top of the 8th inning. And that one's hit towards center. Crisp into right center. He's got it. Tagging up is Chu. He's going to try for second. The throw is just a bit late. So Shin-Soo Choo, he did the right thing. He hustled back. He knows Coco does not throw well, and he gets to second base.
Well, the best part about that, and Cliff Pennington does a very good job, as soon as the ball was hit the outfield, he was sprinting towards mid-center to be the cutoff man. As soon as he got it, spun through very quickly to Jamal Weeks, but Chu has too good a speed. Short hopped Jamal Weeks, but he started, then darts back towards first. Made sure the ball was caught by Coco and able to get in safely in a big play, tagging up. Like Penny thought he was going to get it.
So here's Michael Brantley. So the go-ahead run is Chu at second.
A leadoff walk to Santana started the 4th inning. That the Indians scored 4. Just trying to avoid having this hit batter with a couple of strikes. Come back to haunt them.
Brantley a single, reached on an air and struck out. So lefty on lefty. Jason Donald, the right-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. Fastball for a strike. Blue Jays beat the Rangers 3-2. Happ over Darvish. Encarnacion another home run, his 31st of the year. That game was played in Toronto. Darvish now 12-9. Mentioned the Tigers beating the Orioles. Chu inching away, and it's fouled down the left field line, so 1-2. The Royals beat the White Sox 4-2. Mendoza over Sale. So the White Sox lost, but they got Paul Konerko back, so I'm sure they're happy about that, Ray. And he hit a home run. He was on that 7-day DL with a concussion. He's back.
And it was the team, the Royals, that put him on the disabled list. Dyson.
2-pitch foul back again. Billy Butler homered for Kansas City. So the Royals, as we saw, playing better. They have won 8 out of their last 12. We're told Chris Getz, the second baseman who had a big hit against the A's, broke his hand in that game.
It's a big hit against the A's.
He did.
Sure.
Tough out.
He's facing the big, tall lefty Sale. One of those ran in on it.
2-2 now to Brantley. Yankees beat the Red Sox 6-4 at Yankee Stadium. 5 home runs hit by the Yankees. That's the second time this year, Ray, that the Yankees have had a 5 home run game against the Red Sox. Second time this year. The Yankees have 186 home runs now. That's the most in the major leagues. Swisher hit 2, Granderson, Martin, and Jeter.
Off to right field.
You are probably right.
Even the right-handers.
I know Martin's was. I saw that. Setting up inside, 2-2 pitch is rolled foul. Yankees now have a 7-game lead in the East over the Orioles.
Well, they're going to win the division.
Yep.
Just a matter of how much and by how many games, and whoever else in the division. Rays playing so well. They're in that Eastern Division.
Another 2-2 pitch to Michael Brantley. Swing and a miss. He got him with a slider and a good one. We'll celebrate the 10th anniversary of the historic 20-game win streak. Tomorrow, fans are going to receive a Scott Hatteberg bobblehead presented by Pepsi, and it features 3 audio clips from Bill King's famous radio call. And then on Sunday, 10,000 fans will get a There Is an A in Streak t-shirt, courtesy of Cache Creek Casino Resort. For information and tickets, go to oaklandathletics.com.
Well, Brantley, just a nice, easy swing, but finally, Jordan Alberto threw him a hard slider. That easy swing resulted in a strikeout. Lefty on lefty turned out to be very good for the Athletics.
So here's Jason Donald. Donald, swing and a miss at the fastball. Now the Indians have an extra man in their bullpen, so they only have 3 extra players.
That's what Matty Acton talked about. He figures they don't have a team they're going to pinch it hard for anyway.
Exactly.
The guys are going to be playing.
Well, the 3 extra players they have on their bench are all left-handed hitters. Donald is 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 4th inning. He scored on the home run, the grand slam by Duncan. Cut to it, just missed inside. 26 pitches for Norberto. Came in the 7th inning.
There's 3 lefties on the bench for the Indians. Might keep reason that Norberto staying in the game. Cook warming up in the bullpen. Norberto very capable of getting righties out as well as lefties. Rob Melvin hopes that's the case.
Chu is the runner at second. He's got pretty good speed. Weeks trying to hold him close. Now Weeks gets back to his position. And that's a little flare. Right to Chris Carter. Side retired. So Norberto gets out of the jam. Bottom of the 8th coming up. We're tied at 4. Summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. A grand slam by Shelley Duncan. That was in the 4th inning. But the A's would battle back. Donaldson RBI double in the 4th inning. And then Cespedes, check this out. A double. He steals 3rd with 1 out. And then Chris Carter, sac fly. And how big was that run? Well, that tied it at 4. So that's your game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 4-6-0 for the Indians. 4-8-1 for the Athletics. So Carter to lead it off. And the first pitch from Joe Smith is a slider, called a strike. Carrera comes into the game. So Ezekiel Carrera is now the left fielder. Donald is out. There's that big sweeping slider. So you kind of have a pretty good idea what you're going to get from Joe Smith. And that one was probably better than the first pitch.
Exactly. Except Big Joe looking right down the barrel of the one inside and came around the plate.
And that one may have been the best one of them all.
So Grant Balfour warming up is the closer, and you have to think regardless of what the A's do, he'll come in the 9th inning, hopes that he has the lead. That was a hittable slider. Smith did not want to take a chance and miss with the slider, so he threw it right down the middle, and sometimes you get away with a pitch, and Smith did.
And he ends up walking Carter, and Smith is probably not going to be terribly happy with home plate umpire Joe West.
I don't know that anybody is tonight. But he's a nice guy. Cowboy Joe.
Now batting, number 37, right fielder.
So the A's with a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Indians bullpen is moving around quickly. There's Pastano. So here's Moss. Moss takes a strike on the inside corner. Johnny Gomes waiting in the on-deck circle. Another strike on the inside corner.
Well, the natural movement on Joe Smith at sinker, it's a perfect pitch to throw to left-hander. Twice he's done it to Moss, inside corner, bringing it back. And both called strikes. They have pounded Moss inside all night. Started with McAllister.
You saw Reddick coming out. Reddick is going to hit for Gomes. Moss tonight, a ground out, a walk and a run score, and a strikeout. Way out in front of that one, hits it right into the Indians dugout, and then it bounces back out toward the field. That was Jason Donald, who is now out of the game.
Place in one of the suites, Chad Bradford has to appreciate what Joe Smith did, that submarine style, and he can throw to first base down low, down from under.
And that one runs way in on Moss. But if you just look at where Moss is, and then you look where Marson set up that time, you probably won't be quite as surprised that the ball was that far inside. I mean, look where his left foot is.
And you could say, come on, take one for the team. No, no, no. And how it avoided hitting, we don't know, but he was able to get out of the way. It's almost the point that Marson was behind Moss, the way it's set up.
And that one's line to right. That's a base hit. Carter stops at second, and Moss finally got a pitch to hit. And now the A's are really in business here in the bottom of the eighth.
That was a great at bat in so many ways. The first two pitches, nasty pitches inside corner, called strikes, almost hit him on the ankles. And then look where this pitch is. He comes back more to the middle of the plate. Manny actually going to the mound, but Moss, excellent at bat, battled, and that's got to make you feel great, especially seeing an X mode, the way he attacked the ball, then stayed in the middle of the plate after taking two inside off the plate. A great job.
So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Sportsnet California is brought to you by Cache Creek's Tropical Riches. Win cash and prizes daily through September 3rd. Visit cachecreek.com for details. Bottom of the eighth, A's with a great opportunity to grab the lead, as Josh Reddick is going to pinch hit for Johnny Gomes. Runners at first and second, nobody out in a tie game. So Vinny Pastano comes in 3-0 with a 1.56 ERA. So he's pretty good coming out of the bullpen, right-hander.
And everything is hard. 2-4 seam, 90 plus, low 90s. And you know, kind of we talk about a bunt early in the game, or what an infield does early in the game compared to the end of the game. A runner at third, infield plays in, unlike the early part of the game. And Josh Reddick trying to advance the runners. Worst case, advance them into scoring position with just one out, and ideally try to drive one of them in himself to give the A's the lead.
So 0-1 to Reddick. Castano outside. Couple of at-bats against Pastano with 2 hits. Not close, 2-1.
In the game Saturday night in Chicago, we saw Johnny Gomes talking to skipper Bob Melvin, and Brett Myers is on the mound. Righty on righty, and skipper had the number 6 for 12 with a home run. He said, go up and hit, drive in a run. He did. First pitch hitting, and Gomes brought in the insurance run. The numbers are there for people to see, especially the staff.
Reddick just got a piece of that one, fouls it just behind home plate. So now the count is even at 2-2. Donaldson in the on-deck circle.
Marson turned his head just a little bit with a foul ball. Watch the catch of Marson with a pitch inside. Turns, and fortunately, it hit him in the mask straight on. But as he turned, you'd hate to see hit him on the side.
That one's flipped into shallow left center field, and that's going to drop for a hit. And they're going to hold Carter as the ball is tossed back in by Carrera. So Reddick loops a single, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
They always talk about base runners, know where the outfielders are playing, how hard the ball is hit. And the ball jammed. Josh Reddick, nobody out, and better be safe than sorry. Chris Carter wanted to make sure the ball was going to drop, but the outfield was playing in deep, and that was no man's land. It was dropping quickly. Cabrera couldn't get to it, and it dropped in front of the outfield. It's Chris Carter making sure, and you get that far off, and it's caught, you doubled off. So, rule of thumb is start running. Now, Rosales is going to run for Chris Carter. That little extra speed at third.
Running for number 22, Chris Carter. Number 17, Adam.
Now tonight the A's are 2 for 2 runners in scoring position and getting them in. This is the third time trying to do the same.
So Donaldson steps in. Pastano. First pitch, foul straight back. Donaldson had a good rip. Well, he had 2 inherited runners tonight. He's been great at that, but great numbers are in jeopardy right now. Donaldson trying to give the A's the lead. He is 3 for 3. On deck is Norris. Infield in. Way outside.
But Donaldson has been very aggressive tonight. And he's had a great night. A couple of singles to right field, double to left field, driving in a run, and the first pitch he just missed. He had a chance to hit a slam, the first one that he swung on a breaking ball from Pastano. He's happened to foul it back.
That one just off the plate. Foul back. So maybe expanding his strike zone just a little bit with a major RBI opportunity staring him in the face. So Rosales, Moss, Reddick are the runners. 1 and 2. That's lined into left field, a base hit. 1 run scores. They're going to hold Moss, and the A's have taken the lead. Have a night, Josh Donaldson. So a 4-hit game, a couple of RBIs. And this one gives the A's the lead in the bottom of the 8th.
Boy, even a very aggressive with a couple of strikes, and Pastano made a mistake of hanging another one, and Josh Donaldson has not missed one tonight. Well, he did miss one, the first one in this at bat, but he recovered with another one, and a line drive, and boy, looked like Moss wanted to try to score, but Mike Gallego with Carrera in left field had to hold him up, but he was able to stop quickly enough. So once again, bases loaded.
So here's Norris. And it all started with a walk.
Yes.
Swing and a miss by Norris. Balfour, he's been there for a while. He's definitely ready to roll. outside. 1-1 the count.
See the pattern for Nick Joe West tonight. Anything outside that's close, usually it's a ball. Anything inside, whether it's a lefty or righty, it's been a strike. Sometimes it seems questionable, but also the positioning behind the plate indicates that.
Still nobody out, so the A's have a chance to really stretch things out. Pretty good pitch there by Pastano. Had a lot of movement.
If you want a ground ball, that's the pitch to throw. Watch the movement on this one. It starts in and a turbo sinker just straight down. And Derek Norris, the best thing he did was miss it instead of making contact. It probably would have been a double play. Pitcher hopes to throw that pitch every time. Does not want to make a mistake and have the ball straighten out.
Missed outside, and it's a full count. But a lot of close pitches in this inning.
All outside.
Payoff pitch. And he chased a pitch that was well off the plate. Norris strikes out, and that's out number 1.
Well, he stayed out there, did not want to take a chance inside, and there's where Derek Norris says the quickness inside helps him, but that time it hurt him because he maybe looked for the pitch inside, and Pastano stayed away.
So the A's have struck out 9 times tonight.
That's a running total, isn't it?
Yeah. So here's Pennington.
Now the infield will move back. Look for a double play. Pennington's at bat might have been the biggest in this game. That was in the 4th inning. Or make it the 3rd inning. Another 4th when the A's had a base hit with 2 outs with Pennington hitting the slider to right field. Looking for another one right now.
That one hit hard, but just foul. So a run in on a walk and 3 hits. It's giving the A's the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Slider a bit outside. So 2-1. Balfour starts to throw again. Behind third, and it is going to drop just foul. Rob Drake, the third base umpire, took some steps out, turned around, and he was pretty close to it. So he had a good view. There he is.
Just at the 40-yard line. Bob Trent. Playwood did a great job covering those line markers up tonight.
Well, the grass will grow a little bit.
Yeah.
Look a little bit better tomorrow. Pennington to right field. He's got a good arm. Tagging up is Moss. The throw to the plate is just a little bit late. Moss gets in, and it's 6-4. So Marson received the good throw, but again, that slide into home where you use your left hand certainly helped Moss.
It was a great throw, but this is where a catcher really has to put his foot down and not allow a runner to get to any part of the plate, especially now with the slide. Great slide, and right around the tag, the left hand. So essentially, see, Marson is trying to block off, but he doesn't know where his left foot is. He should have put his foot on the plate a little bit more. He tried to move it, but a lot of times when a catcher goes after the ball instead of standing on the plate and using the body to block the runner off, it hurts. And a great job. Both runners tagged, all runners tagged actually. It's now second and third, but Brandon Moss with the plate, able to sneak around the tag by Marson. So Pennington does it again. Great at bat by Brandon Moss, an even better slide to score the insurance run.
0-1 to Coco Crisp, and now 0-2. Rays 12, Angels 3. That game
that's
just about over.
That's not a lot of fun down there. Not in Anaheim right now.
Two pitch to Coco inside. 7-0. Angels lose last night. 12-3 in a big series.
Yes, very big.
The Rays continue to play great baseball.
For the Angels, who came into the season expected to win the division, not even thinking about the wild card, and they look on the board and they see the Rangers playing on the East Coast and Toronto 3 hours ahead. They knew they had lost before the game started.
And you get your best pitcher going, and you lay an egg.
Couple of DL from former Tigers. Sizemore, Brandon Inge, and
they've seen Coco before.
Yes, they have.
3-2 pitch, and Coco hits one to right field. Chu is there. Hard hit out, but the A's scored twice. 3 hits, a walk, a sac fly, and we're headed to the ninth.
We welcome back Josh Donaldson. What a night he's had. A base hit to right field on a fastball. That was good. How about a hanging breaking ball? A double for an RBI, almost a home run. And then he would come up defensively with a great play at third base. Strong arm once he came up with that. And this, how about with the bases loaded? Another breaking ball that hung. And Josh Donaldson with a couple of ribbies tonight. and playing great at third, and very happy to be back in the big leagues. Shaved also, had that some sort of a beard in Chicago and so on.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So Grant Balfour will come in looking for his 10th save. And again, the bullpen so far tonight, Nishak an inning and a third, nothing, a couple of strikeouts. Norberto an inning and 2/3. He hit a batter, struck out a couple. So, as we figured, the bullpen's been very good again tonight. Rosales now at first base. So Duncan to lead it off. He'll be followed by Lillibridge spot, but it could be a pinch hitter there. So that Casey Kochman has come out into the on-deck circle. First pitch is high to Duncan, who has a grand slam in this game.
The Indians have not scored since the grand slam, so that's great pitching by the Athletics. Trying to continue it in the 9th inning. Don't need any surprises tonight.
There's a strike call. 1-1 the count. A's post game live coming up after the game. Part of that will be the AT. So we'll talk it over. Right there for a strike. Good fastball. Well placed by Balfour. Duncan has also reached on a fielder's choice and struck out. Duncan spins out of the way. Tommy Malone went the first 5 innings tonight.
Shelley Duncan had to feel that might have been hit as the ball eluded not only his hand but the bat. Could have been a foul tip into the catcher's mitt for strike 3.
Right there, strike 3 called. Duncan got a couple fastballs to hit and could not pull the trigger.
Matt Balfour just throwing nothing but fastballs and a couple of elevated. Shelley Duncan knew when he didn't pull the trigger. I don't even know if he heard Joe West. He just knew it was strike 3.
So A's pitchers have 11 strikeouts tonight. So here's Kochman. Kochman hitting for Lillibridge. First pitch is just a bit outside. Kochman had a nice year for the Rays last year. Signed a 1-year, $3 million deal with the Indians, but has not performed as well this year as he did last year.
Well, with the lefty Tommy Malone starting tonight with Santana playing first, and Kochman a very good first baseman.
On the infield, Donaldson is got it, and that's out number 2. So Balfour 1 out away. We're going to get another pinch hitter. This is Lou Marson's spot. It's going to be Jack Hanahan. So Hanahan will hit here in the 9th.
Now the former Athletic didn't hurt his former team back in April. So Hanahan with the lefty starting for the Athletics. Malone tonight kept some very good lefties. One of those, Jack Hanahan, on the bench until this 9th inning.
So the first pitch to Hanahan is a fastball inside. .229, 4 home runs for Hanahan. pitcher of record right now for the A's is Norberto, and well deserved. If he were to A's were to hang on and win this, he would get the W.
It's a great point, because after hitting Chu, and Chu going to second on the fly ball by Santana to get Brantley and Donald out to end the inning without allowing to go ahead and run the score. Neshek, Norberto, Balfour. So far, 5 strikeouts, no hits.
Not surprised. There's a strike outside corner, 2-2. That game is a final. The Rays beat the Angels. Hanahan at a big rip fouls it back. Balfour kicks the dirt a little bit. As a hitter, sometimes you like to control the tempo of the at-bat.
Especially with the fans standing in the last inning. Let's step out, make the pitcher work a little bit.
Hanahan is going to make Balfour work a little bit longer. He's looking for their 63rd win of the year. Another 2-2, and that's grounded towards short. Pennington has it, and that's the ball game. So the A's score 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they come back from a 4-0 deficit. They tie it at 4, score the 2 in the bottom of the 8th, and they win it tonight by a final score of 6-4. So the homestand starts out on a winning note for the Athletics. So the A's now 63-55. Game 2 will be tomorrow right here on Comcast Sportsnet, California. But we'll enjoy this victory tonight. So the road trip, maybe not quite as many wins as the A's had hoped, finishing 2-4, but a win tonight on a homestand, which I think the A's are going to tell you, well, it's an opportunity. Indians team struggling and a Twins team and not having a good year. Now we also know that sometimes it's not who you're playing, but how they're playing. But in this case, the Indians are struggling, so the A's win it tonight, 6-4.
Well, we saw a Kansas City team that had been struggling but played very well against the Athletics for 2 games. Fortunately, they won last night and start this 6-game homestand on a positive note with a win over the Indians. And again, you think back to April when the Indians were playing much better, 1-2-3 against the Athletics the weekend, but weekend starts great for the A's.
You know what, Ray? Looking at my scorecard, Crispin Weeks, 0 for 9.
Yep.
But the A's still score 6 runs. So that immediately makes you think, well, they must have got production from the bottom of the order.
That's right.
And they did. Pennington, a couple of big at-bats. Donaldson has a 4-hit game.
Right. So we'll talk to Donaldson.
Yeah. Let's talk to him. Josh Donaldson, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, congratulations. Terrific performance tonight. We were just talking about how the top of the order, the 2 guys at top 0 for 9. So it was the bottom of the order tonight that did the damage. And I would imagine you guys down at the bottom take some pride in that.
For sure. I mean, anytime you're in the box, you want to be successful. And, you know, obviously, top of the order, maybe we're struggling a little bit tonight. But, you know, that's what we're here for, too. You know, we're up there to grind out at bats and hopefully, you know, get a couple of hits as well.
Well, you got more than a couple. You got 4 and a great defensive play, which a great night for you. But, Josh, what's the difference for you coming back this time after being up a couple of times and swinging the bat as well as you did tonight have since you've come back? But what is the difference of inning?
I just think a lot of it has to do with confidence and, you know, just continue to relax and believe in myself. There's been a few times I've been up here, you know, I haven't been very successful. And that grinds on you after a certain time. And ever since I've been back, I've been able to let it go a little bit and, you know, just kind of be myself and take some good swings and quit trying to hit homers.
Well, speaking of good swings, we just showed all your hits. Your first hit in the second inning, a line drive to right field. That's a great at-bat. Can hitting a ball right field hard in your first at-bat help you as your other at-bats come later in the game?
Well, for sure. I mean, that's when you know you kind of locked it in a little bit, you know, keeping the front side in. Anytime, especially for me, I start thinking pulling the ball, that's where I leave everything else open, and sliders away, fastballs away, and, you know, able to get that first hit to right field and feel like I'm on the ball. Felt pretty good.
I think the impressive thing about you tonight, Josh, that you talk about keeping the left shoulder in with the base hits to right field, but the 2 hits you got to bring home runs were breaking balls, yet you were still aggressive even with a couple of strikes. Explain that, the aggressiveness, the front foot, getting the front foot down, but being aggressive with 2 strikes and pulling some off-speed pitches, which you probably should have.
Well, for sure. I mean, I've always been kind of taught hitting that, especially as a right-handed hitter, you face so many right-handed pitchers that, you know, try to think about going with the fastball up the middle to right center, and then if it happens to throw you off speed pitch and it's, you know, hanging around the zone, that's when you let it loose.
Now, Josh, what are you doing different now than earlier in the year when you did struggle? Was there some things you changed when you went down to AAA Sacramento, or is it just the confidence you're talking about?
I mean, there's been a few little things I've kind of tweaked more, you know, instead of trying to lift balls, you know, really just trying to hit hard line drives and, you know, just having the mentality of thinking base hits. Instead of, you know, trying to leave every so often, and, you know, especially for a young guy like myself, trying to impress people, especially, you know, the managers and the players, you know, showing them want to be here. Sometimes you want to do too much, and, you know, I've done that a lot, and I've been very unsuccessful. And, you know, hopefully I'm on the right plan right now and can keep it going.
Do you miss catching?
No. No. I feel so much better after this game right now than I ever did catching. Feel sorry for him.
So you don't need any ice packs or anything?
No, I don't have to get in the cold tub. I don't have to do any of that stuff. So I feel good right now.
You're doing a great job at third. We didn't even talk about the one you picked at third. The hitting was spectacular. Great job tonight.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for having me.
All right, thanks, Josh. So 4 for 4 tonight by Donaldson. He was terrific. Let's not forget about the bullpen. 4 innings, no runs, no hits. They always win the bullpen battle, the A's do.
The bullpen's great, but I think also Cliff Pennington. He drove home the tying run or the third run to make it a 1-run game, and the big insurance run when they pulled the ball to right field. So for Cliff Pennington, had been struggling a little bit. Big night for him as well. So the Indians score on a grand slam, and that's it. The A's win it tonight in Game 1 of the series. Final score, 6-4, A's over the Indians. You've been watching A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live with Brody Brazil and Greg Cataray starts right now.